Hi guys, this is me Sir Tawheed, and today I'm going to give you a lesson on general sentences and be forms. So guys, in the end of this lesson you will be able to understand the different types of sentences and their structures and how to create them. And also you will be able to identify the be forms because they are very important in many cases. So without further ado, let's move on to the topic, general sentences. Usually there are three types of sentences and we are required to learn them because whenever we learn any tense, we have to practice that tense in in different manners, in different sentences. So the sentences you have to make in any tense are usually these three. These are the three most important sentences. So let's see their name first. Number one is called affirmative, and it is also called assertive sentence. Number two is called negative sentence, and number three is interrogative. Now let's have a look at its structure. Number one, affirmative. The structure of affirmative contains four elements. Number one is subject. You must know that what is subject is the doer of anything. So the person who is doing something is called the subject. After subject we use helping verb. Helping verbs are the determiner of the tense. They actually tell you what tense is being used. So helping verb comes in the second place, but since they are not necessary in every assertive sentence, so that's the reason I have marked that in red color, because here red means the optional word. Here helping verb is optional because there are few tenses in which there is no helping verb is used, such as present indefinite tense and past indefinite tense. If you know them, there is no helping verb in the affirmative sentence, but all other tenses have their helping verbs. So if the tense says there is helping verb, then we use it, otherwise we do not use it. After helping verb we use main verb. Main verb means the most important work that is going on anywhere or in any sentence is called main verb. Main verb means the action which is going on, the main action. After main verb we have to use object. Object is something which is connected with the verb. So, and if anything is there which is connected to the verb is called object. Object does not do anything, but the subject does. Object is the one who receives the actions. Okay guys, now let's move on to its example. As I have mentioned here, you take tea. Here are only three elements. The subject is here you. You is the subject here because you is doing something or you does something. In this sentence, you is the subject, and after a subject we have used the word take, which is not actually the helping verb. It is a main verb because actually this tense belongs to present indefinite tense. So in the present indefinite tense there is no use of helping verb. I really mean to show this that helping verb is not every time necessary in the affirmative sentences. In this sentence you can see there is no helping verb. There is a main verb, that is take. After main verb there is an object which is tea here. You take tea. You is subject, take is main form of verb, and then tea, which is object here. The second type of sentence is called negative sentence. Now let's have a look at its structure. In negative structure there are 5 elements and all of them are necessary. None of them is optional or unnecessary. They are all necessary. So in the first place we use subject, in the second place we use helping verb, in the third place we have to use not. And this is the most important thing, to put not here, because we are making a negative sentence. So not is the identity of negative sentences here. Then after it, in the fourth place we use main verb form of verb, and in the fifth place there is object, such as you do not take tea. Now you is subject, do is helping verb, not is a word to make the sentence negative, and take is main verb, and tea is object here. You do not take tea. You can see here are only 5 elements, 5 words, and they are all consist of different elements. Now let's have a look at the third type of sentence, which is called interrogative. The structure of interrogative sentence contains 5 elements. In the first place we use WH word, but this one is not necessary every time. Sometimes we make questions without any WH word, so this is optional. Sometimes you will find it, but sometimes you don't. And the example of WH words are what, when, where, which, who, how. These are the words which are known as WH words. After WH word, in the second place there is helping verb. You can see that now the helping verb has come before the subject. In the earlier structures, helping was after the subject, but here subject is in the third place, whereas helping verb is in the second place. So the most important thing here is to use helping verb before the subject. Other things are almost same. In the fourth place we have used main verb, and in the fifth place there is object. Just as let's have a look at the example. Do you take tea? Also, it is very necessary to put the interrogation mark or question mark in the end to show this that it is an interrogative sentence. Do you take tea here? And do is helping verb, you is subject, take is verb, and tea is object. But here you can see that there is no WH word because it was not necessary. So in the example it is excluded. So that's all about general sentences. Now let's move on to today's next topic, which is P forms. So now let's have a look at P forms. Just like any other verb, there are 4 forms of P. Be also consists of 4 different forms. It also contains 4 forms. First form of B R is am, are, and be. Is, am, are, and be, they are 4 words, and all of them are used as first form of be. If you look at second form of verb of be, here the words are was and were. Was and were are the second form of be. In the third form we have only one word, that is called been. Been is the third form of be, and if you look at the fourth column, here the fourth form of be is being. You can understand this by seeing ing in the end, because whenever we make fourth form of any verb, they contain ing in the end. So being is referred as fourth form of verb. They are very important to understand because they are very important auxiliary verbs and helping verbs, they are used to create lots of different sentences and determine different tenses. Also, they are important because they are must to use in passive voices. They are used in active voices, but they are must to use in passive voices, because in active voices they are not used sometimes. Sometimes we use some other family of helping verbs. There are so many different families which are called helping verbs family, just like do, does, did. They are do family. Next is have family, like have, has, had. And there are many other types of families of helping verbs, but this one is the most important, be forms. That's the reason I chose this topic to teach you. This is the end of this lesson and this episode, and I want you to all, if you understand this lesson, if you like it, do subscribe my channel so you could see other things what I'm going to publish here on my YouTube channel. This is the beginning of tenses. After tenses, I'm going to make lectures on active passives, narrations, and many more different things, because I am here to complete full grammar course. I want you to learn a complete grammar course, which is very necessary for everyone. So guys, see you next time. Do like my video, and you can also ask me anything if you have any confusion. Goodbye.